In this video we're going to talk about some advanced strategies for creation of volumes when we have complex geometry in the architectural model. So we have here my massively amazing curtain wall system, as I'm such an awesome architect, and we're going to go ahead and define some volumes that will exist inside of this amazing curtain wall system. So traditionally it's been very difficult to handle cases where we have outward sloping walls. But with the calculation height setting existing on the level now, we can choose the specific levels that contain these outward sloping walls and modify the calculation height accordingly. So what I've done is I've gone ahead and created a type for slanted walls. And we'll see here that in this case I've set the computation height to be just below the level here. So it's a 10-foot level floor-to-floor height, and I've set the computation height at about 911. And if we go ahead and look at our first floor height, our first floor view, we can insert a space, and we will set our offset again to 0 and make sure we're setting the next level up. We can go ahead and place our space. If we look back here, we'll see that we've actually defined our space to catch for this outward facing wall, or outward slanting wall. If I switch back to the standard calculation, we'll see that we actually are using, we're losing these corners here, which means we have an incorrect analytical model. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select this level, type, the slanted wall type that I created, and I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing here. So if we jump into our second floor, then we get up towards the top where it's slanting inwards. We can handle that as well. So we'll see here that we've now accounted for the outward sloping as well as the inward slope. And here we can see that we tackled the inward sloping portion up top, and this is caught because of the automatic calculation plane setting has been turned on. So it's detected that there are bounding elements that are sloping down below the 4-foot cut plane. So that automatically sets the calculation height down to 0 here. Now the final thing I want to talk about is an additional setting that's new for 2009 that allows us to determine a base offset value. Now previously there's no ability to define a base offset value. Now that limited us from defining certain situations where we might have like a step down and a level. So if I go ahead and adjust this to be, let's say, -3 feet, we'll see that we've actually gone ahead and caught for that particular site. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to drop it down below that just like we would a roof, because we want to make sure we detect that floor properly. Because again, just like we would do in a roof, we're generally going to extend it down beyond the bounding element, because again, it will be bound properly, so it's not going to produce an incorrect analytical model down here on the floor. So if we go ahead and pivot around here, we'll see that we have a valid analytical model for analysis. If we switch over to our shaded view, you'll see the same thing here. Now keep in mind that you do have surfaces that appear between the individual spaces, but in our analysis calculations, or if we're moving over to the IES virtual environment, it's going to handle those like a whole, so air will move freely between each of those. So we would get a proper analysis as a result of that. So using a combination of the base offset value as well as the calculation height, we can handle many complex situations, and we should be able to get a proper analytical model for most geometries that could exist in a Revit architectural model.